You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who writes checks his mouth can't cash, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of this Friday night edition of Nite Lite. I hate weekends. I like being here and talking. That's what I do, folks. It's so much fun, and it's great when you guys participate. So our question of the night is, how do you like your pancakes? It's National Flapjack Day, so fire away and let me know how you like to eat them. Teri Barr is coming up at 7:35. It is a Barr Band Friday night. She'll bring new music and sparkling conversation, as she always does, one of our Nite Lite besties, and talking to another pal of ours right now about sports. Mike Clemens joins us, taking a break between the Combine and free agency. Mike, are you at home tonight, actually? Getting a night at home?
I am, because I got a game tomorrow night. It's Bucks hosting the Magic. But, you're talking about pancakes. Did you know for 3 years, when I was 16, I got a job at a brand-new International House of Pancakes.
Whoa.
And I got a job as a cook. And so that got me through the start of college. It was a good job. I had a great manager, pretty good owner, and they had a whole system. Like, they would train you at 16 years old. This is a great experience for 6 weeks. And so you'd be back there in the kitchen doing prep with the big Hobart mixer. These things, I just Googled it. It would cost you about $45,000 to $50,000 to buy a new one of these giant. Yeah, because it would make like 10 or 12 gallons of this stuff to make. Because you could go through that much. This place was really busy. It was really popular at the time. We had on Sunday mornings, Pete. We had people lined up outside in the parking lot to get in to one of the 110 seats that we had in this place, making those buttermilk pancakes. But yeah, you put in the mix and then the water, and the key to make those things sweet was butter, extra butter. You melted the butter in these huge pots, and they just poured that melted butter into the mix at the very end. Oh, man, the pancakes would rise, and, you put them on the hot griddle at a certain temperature, and then when you see them start to bubble, and you flip them that one time, you would flip them over and carefully learn how to do it, get a little bit in the air. You'd have to flip your eggs the same way, too, and omelets, that type of thing. Learn how to flip it with your wrist. I just made some eggs like that today, over easy, in the frying pan. And then when you sell them, as they say, like short order cooks, you get that lineup of plates. You slip the spatula underneath, and you put it in your left palm. Then you put it, set it down in the air onto the plate that way that they rise,
really?
They don't get smushed and all that. And I made thousands of pancakes for 3 years.
It sounds like you could put the apron on right now and get back there, Mike. It doesn't sound like you forgot.
Actually, there's a coffee shop that was close by, and a guy suddenly had an appendicitis and owned the place, and it was like Father's Day, so I went back there and I did 3 hours in the kitchen after I hadn't done it in 25 years. But you never lose it.
It's like an altar boy when one of them gets sick, and you have to come out of the bullpen and go up there and serve
and serve and try not to burn down the church when it comes to lighting the candles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Brian Regan's joke about the International, about the IHOPs?
No.
When an IHOP would go out of business and someone would rent that space, but everybody knows it used to be an IHOP. But
right, sure. It's that big blue high angle. Yeah, right.
And he would do the guy sitting there like trying to get insurance, and he's like... He's like, how many times did they hear jokes like, they give the big insurance spiel, and he's like, you think I could get a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruit? And the guy gets mad.
True. There's one in Janesville. It used to be an IHOP. It's actually one that I kind of trained in one summer when I was a kid, and now it's some sort of cash and loan thing. And you've got to think all the jokes that they get, right? Every time they come in here, can I have some blueberry pancakes?
Silver dollars, please. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Well, good to know. I learn a little bit more about you every time you're on the show, Mike. And I have to say, it's liberating, and it's comforting. That's pretty cool. So, all right, let's turn to basketball, Mike, because this is a big weekend. It's a big day tomorrow, even for you got the Badgers and Marquette, both playing. Is Marquette tomorrow or Sunday? It's tomorrow.
No,
right?
tomorrow morning. You're right. I mean, tomorrow's all basketball.
Wow.
At 11 a.m., the Marquette Golden Eagles are at home. And the other day, Shaka Smart said, after they lost another tough game to UConn on the road, he said, hey, I got senior day on Saturday. I'm like, oh, wow, that's right. Yeah, this season's already wrapping up,
crazy?
Regular season. So I went and looked, and did you know that Al McGuire played at St. John's for the team they're playing tomorrow?
I think I did know that. I remember.
I didn't, because I got home last night from covering a practice, and I turn on NBC, and Jimmy Fallon opens up the Tonight Show last night with the number 6 ranked St. John's basketball team. All the players, all the young guys, singing a fight song for the Red Storm.
Huh.
Just one of his bits, of like one of his cold hard opens to the show. And I realized, you see, St. John's is ranked 6th in the nation. Like Jimmy and New York City and all of New York, they're probably really excited about this team, right? So that's the team that the Golden Eagles have to face tomorrow on their senior day. And, and it's their last game for guys like Stevie Mitchell and David Copeland, who's probably going to go down with the most games played in a career at Marquette, and Cam Jones. And after coming off this loss the other night to UConn, where they've got all that weather out in New England, and I don't know if you heard this, there was a 22-minute game delay at the start of the game. The authorities came over to Shaka Smart, the head coach of Marquette, and said, Coach, we've got the pavilion here is leaking water, and we got all this water down here at the baseline. And so he went to Dan Hurley, the head coach of UConn, and said, Dan, listen, man, we'll play in your practice court across the street. We're not going home without playing a game.
Nice.
They're talking about canceling the game. So it took them 22 minutes to mop it up and figure out how to fix the leak, and then they got the game in the other night. But Marquette, they've lost like 3 of their last 7 games, mostly on the road, like to Creighton, Villanova, and UConn, and obviously that doesn't help their rankings. So big game for them tomorrow, and they're honoring, they'll be on the Al McGuire court. Al McGuire played for the St. John's Red Storm from 1948 to 51 before he moved to Milwaukee, and then took the Marquette Warriors then to the 1977 championship. Learned that this week.
Yeah, that was a great win. And I think that's why I know a little bit about Al McGuire, is just because he was the last coach to win that championship in 77. That was such a great year. Right. So, all right, you got Marquette at 11 a.m., then you got the Badgers at noon. It's decision time. I guess you could switch back and forth. But the 12th ranked Badgers take on, they got a
Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
Penn State, great football team.
Right.
Not so good at basketball. Not so good. Badgers, they've only had 2 losses in the last 4 weeks. Their last 7 games. They lost that one at home to Oregon, and then last Saturday on the road to number 8th ranked Michigan State. But they beat Minnesota in Minneapolis the other night, 74-67. And if you've seen this Jeff Janicki kid, they put him out there. He's a guard. He comes out like in the in the second half, and he's in your face. He's great on defense. Really hustles around, and all of a sudden he trips over some guys. Bam! Face plant, face first into the court, and he comes up and he's walking around. He's feeling around, and the announcers even said, like Matt LePay said, like I think he's picking up a tooth off the court. And after the game, Greg Gard said, "Yeah, he kind of looks like a hockey player now. And chipped a tooth, and he's got a big chipped tooth. He looks like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber.
He's got the
bangs.
bangs.
I'm thinking, well, that's nice, Coach. Mrs. Janicki, his mom, is probably listening to this on the radio. Like, you're calling my son a hockey player now.
That's great.
Shame on you. But anyway, he's going to be okay. He had a little press conference, and he'll trip to the dentist. He'll have to fix that.
Mike, before we let you go, where right now, as it stands, where do you see, Big Ten tournament notwithstanding, or Big East tournament, the rankings or the seedings, I should say? Like, you think Badgers are 3 or 4, Marquette 8 or 9? What do you think?
I don't have that good of a feel of it, and that's because there's kind of a logjam at the top of that. But I think it doesn't always seem like sometimes they move these teams around too in terms of interest what they're going to be. I don't know if they're going to play in that tournament they're going to have in Milwaukee or be moved to one of the other regions. But, the Badgers, they've been consistently good now the last 2 months. They have beat an awful lot of good teams, and they're consistently good with the three-point shots. So I would think that they're going to get a higher seed than anybody would have ever predicted out of this group at the start of this season.
Yeah, especially if they slumped a little bit, too, it seems like. Mike, as always, my friend, thank you so much. We'll be checking in with you, hopefully, during free agency. That's going to be an exciting time, as will the draft. But glad you're home. Enjoy your family, and let's talk soon.
I love the show, Pete. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you next time.
Okay, buddy. That's Mike Clemens, Civic Media sports guru. Always fun to talk to. Teri Barr will be here at 7:35. It's a Barr Band Friday night. She will bring new music, and it's really good. I love this. Sam Ness is who we're going to talk about. He's a good singer-songwriter. That's coming up at 7:35. I did do some research here because I saw Anna from Madison's text about buckwheats. And I knew they were kind of good for you, like better than regular flour, but this is what I just Googled this after I saw Anna's text, and it said, yes, buckwheat is generally considered a healthy food with several potential benefits. Health benefits include they're gluten-free, and a lot of doctors, 2 or 3, over the last 10 years have said, yes, give up gluten. You'll feel healthier, even if you don't have celiac disease. I've never really fully done that, but a lot of people say giving up gluten will make you feel better. So buckwheat pancakes are gluten-free. Buckwheat is a good source of fiber and protein, magnesium, iron, and antioxidants. I do remember that buckwheats have a lot of fiber. Let's put it this way. You have to eat them on the way to the bathroom. That's how much fiber.
No,
they're very good for you, though. And I like the texture. Are you saying we have a call? Do we have time to take a call?
We have about 1 minute if you want.
All right. Yeah, let's get them on. Who is it?
It's Ollie from the Northwoods.
Ollie from a call from the Northwoods. I'm in heaven. How's it going, Ollie?
Oh, it's going great. I just called to give my 2 cents worth about the pancakes.
Yeah, please.
My mom was a farm girl from Norwegian ancestry, and on the farm we always had.
Hey, Ollie, can you hold on for 1 minute? I know this is going to be a good story, but we have to do a break. Can you just hold on so we can get the full story?
Sure, no problem.
All right, we're going to do a very quick break, then we're going to come back and hear about Ollie's Pancakes. Oh, if that doesn't already exist as a pancake house, it should. Let's all go down to Ollie's Pancakes. All right, we're coming right back on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Bring a friend, join the crowd, whoever wanna come along. Word up, talk, just move right up the wall. Day or night, sky's the light, so we dance to the breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
There's a problem, feathers, iron, bargain buildings, weights and pulleys, feathers.
Monica from Mount Horeb says, the only way I like pancakes is on someone else's plate. I don't like pancakes, yet I'm meeting some gal pals at Pancake Cafe tomorrow. It's not my choice, but I'll be having a gigantic mound of hash browns and cheese instead. Yeah, cheese and pancakes don't go.
No, it's not. No.
I could do cheese and hash browns, or hash browns and pancakes, but that triumvirate there is not very good. But thank you, Monica. All right, we have a phone call from Ollie in the Northwoods, and she's telling us about her grandma's farm pancakes, and this sounded too delicious to rush before the break. So, Ollie, if you would, please continue.
Well, the pancakes are a lighter batter, so the pancakes are a little bit thinner, but then you serve them with either lingonberry sauce, or sometimes we use choke cherry sauce, and then you pour heavy cream over it, the top cream off the cow's milk.
Wow. So
And they're delicious.
You put that in the batter or on the actual pancake?
No, you put that on the actual pancake. After the pancake is cooked, you put your lingonberry sauce or your cranberry sauce down on it, and then cover the whole thing with heavy cream, and it's heaven.
Ollie,
We lovingly call those Aunt Minnie's pancakes.
you have to open up a restaurant. You've just thrown my whole world into upheaval. I've never heard of anything like that
They're delicious.
before.
And actually, the Norski Nook restaurants serve a form of that high Norwegian pancake.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for the call. That was definitely worth the wait through the commercial. Thanks for
Alrighty.
listening, and thanks for sharing.
Enjoy your pancakes.
I will. Don't be a stranger. Thanks, Ollie. Wow, that sounded. I don't even like cream that much, but with the pancakes and the fruit,
That sounded
get
really
out of
good.
here. That sounds fantastic. Steady Eddie is checking in. He's from the 608, and he's one of our most what would you say, prolific texters?
Yeah, prolific for
Puts
sure.
a lot of thought into it. He says, Pete, I eat my homemade pancakes only occasionally, but when I do, I don't skimp on real Wisconsin butter or genuine Wisconsin maple syrup. I like where this is going. Pancakes on a Saturday or Sunday morning with a good cup of coffee, it's a beautiful thing. Steady, I'll take that full stack of flapjacks, Eddie. Yeah, you're not Steadfast Edward when you're mowing pancakes. You're Steady Eddie. That's awesome. Thank you, Steady Eddie. Great stuff. And then we got PJ checking in on the stream. He says, I prefer waffles because they have pockets to hold the syrup. He's a real connoisseur. They're kind of the same thing, right? I mean,
And they both have batter that's not great for you. So
right. But I mean, do waffles have anything pancakes don't? It's pretty much just a pancake with the holes, right?
I think
I don't know.
it tastes different for some reason.
Yeah, I
as I'm
agree.
imagining it.
It's
I
like
haven't
there's
had.
malt in there or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a great text, though. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, waffles are getting really hungry for breakfast.
I like waffles better than pancakes.
Do you really?
Yes,
Yeah.
because like PJ said, for me they got pockets to hold the peanut butter and the syrup.
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious. My mom makes them kind of how Ollie was saying, like she makes them thin. Or was that Anna who said that? She makes them real thin, liquidy, and then the problem is like she gives them to all the grandkids, and you can eat 12 pancakes before you even know what hit you because they're thin and they're a little burnt and singed, and they've got, not burnt, but just darker, and then they've got the fresh maple syrup and the melted butter. It is outstanding. Wow, great stuff. Okay, keep those texts coming if you want to get in on the fun. How do you like your pancakes? It's International Pancake Day, and I love that Mike Clemens worked at an IHOP. That's so great. God, he must have read that manual inside and out. He was like regurgitating all the IHOP mission statement and like procedure. It was so great. All right, so we had we played this already. I think it deserves a repeat because I don't usually get called by A-list celebrities. But like I said earlier in the show, we've been kind of poking fun at Adrian Brody for his very lengthy Oscar speech. It, was not a great speech. Let's be honest. It was too long, and he didn't really say much, even though he said a lot. And so we had fun with it. We kept playing it over and over like he was still talking even Tuesday night. But he found out about it somehow. Civic Media, it's a big network. Word gets around. Things go viral. And Adrian Brody called me to really let me have it earlier today, and we have that recording right now. Hello?
Yeah. Is this Pete Schwaba?
Yeah. Who's calling?
It's Adrian Brody, cheese dick. I heard you been talking about me about my acceptance speech.
How did you get this number?
I could get to anyone. You seen how broad my shoulders are?
Yeah, but what's that got to do with it?
I know you think you're hot with your little radio show, but people love my speech.
I'm sure they did. I'm surprised you're not still giving it, to be honest.
I want an apology, and I want it right now.
Dude, I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but most people thought your speech sucked. It was meandering. It went on forever. I'm sorry, but it was almost as long as The Brutalist, for God's sakes.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like my speech. You think I don't know that? You know how many phone calls I still have to make? Well, yeah, no one understands me.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian, come on, man. Relax. It's cool. Look, you got 2 Oscars. Why would you care what anyone thinks about your speech or feel the need to talk for that amount of time and not really say anything? Come on, man.
Oh, you know what? Here I am opening up to you, and you take another shot at me. Have you seen my shoulders?
Yeah, but I mean...
Have you seen my shoulders.
Yeah, man. I saw a lot more of you than that in The Brutalist, which was totally unnecessary, by the way. Look, dude.
Yeah, look, it's cool, Schwaba. I'll do anything for a role, but yeah, people love my shoulders. Hang on a second. Harvey Weinstein's calling from prison, and make sure I'm treating his ex-wife well. You believe that guy? Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey, no hard feelings, cheese dick.
Just like such a rude guy.
And he just fast, you know.
After he insulted my manhood. I expected more out of him because he's like an artist. Go with those cliche name-calling things. All right, so it is a Barr Band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Monday night on Nite Lite, get this, as my friend Mike used to say. Hey, get this. Dan Davies will be here in the studio. He's an actor based in Northeast Wisconsin. He's promoting a couple movies. Dan's a great guy. He's been on the show before. And then Peter Van Doren will be here to talk fantasy baseball. And I need an education. I don't know much about it. I've done football, never done fantasy baseball, so we'll get into that. That's Monday night on Nite Lite. But coming up next, our pal, Teri Barr, on a Barr Band Friday night. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Friday night on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Time to check out original music with Barr Band Friday on Nite Lite. Now, your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Teri Barr.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is, for many reasons, one of our favorite times of the week. As we head into the weekend, we get to talk to one of our very, truly good friends and someone who knows a blank ton about music, all things music, what's happening in our state. She does everything here at Civic Media, and she joins us here for Barr Band Friday night as it's her namesake. Teri Barr, how are you?
Hello, Pete and Conrad, and all your fabulous show listeners. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. It's great to see you. It's been a very busy week for all of us, but you have a show tomorrow night. Hold on. I have to ask you something. I can't just jump right in. I have to have small talk, Teri. It's just the way I'm wired. So please excuse me, okay? I have to get this off my chest.
Do it.
How do you like your pancakes?
What?
How do you like your pancakes?
I thought that's what you said, and I thought, really? That's why I had to ask you twice.
I know.
I
don't dig
I actually
too
like
deep
French
here.
toast.
Oh. Ooh.
So now I'm being a contrarian, aren't I?
No, that's okay. French toast is, at least it's different than the pancake. The waffle and the pancake are almost too close to call, but French toast is different because you're dealing with bread, and I like French toast.
Pete, we discovered a place to the south in Illinois.
Okay.
They make a bourbon maple syrup. But the thing is, the actual maple syrup is from Wisconsin.
Okay.
And the bourbon is handcrafted at this distillery in DeKalb, Illinois.
Bourbon and maple syrup, that actually sounds pretty amazing. A little bit of cinnamon sugar in there maybe or something.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie. I've been fasting all week and kind of doing this keto thing, and I am literally salivating right now because of all this pancake talk and just because of my Clemens voice. But I'm really jonesing for some pancakes.
Okay, so what's your favorite pancake?
Well, I said it changed. When I was a kid, I loved regular pancakes, kind of fluffy with lots of butter, lots of maple syrup. As I got older, real maple syrup, and then cinnamon sugar. There was a place in Three Lakes called the Copper Kettle where we used to go when we were kids, and we would get pancakes. And then as I got older, my wife makes these protein pancakes. There's little bits of like bacon in them and walnuts and blueberries. And I mean, they're dynamite. And you put some real maple syrup on that, some cinnamon sugar, top it off, and you're set. You won't want to eat again the entire day. That's the thing. All right, now that we've covered...
Wait, it sounds like what you need right now.
I'm telling you, I'm going to... If I find an all-night diner on the way home, it might be lights out. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing very well. Very. Do you like
I'm curious
weekends?
about the fasting though.
Oh,
I have never done it, although I've heard if, say, you don't eat the night before until like sometime the next afternoon, which, when you get busy and sometimes you just don't, that's a small fast. But are
yeah.
you doing a several day thing?
Well, I've done that. I've done intermittent fasting, anywhere from 16 to like 18 or 20 hours. You eat within a
Okay.
4-hour window, 6-hour window. It's not that tough. You get the tummy rumblings a little bit, but I have done and I love doing these, a 36-hour fast where you
Ooh.
eat like at 5 o'clock at night or 6, and then you're done. And the next day you don't eat. And then at 6 o'clock the next morning, a day and a half later, you can eat. And what I like about
Ooh.
that, Terry, is so much of my day is spent going, what am I going to eat? And then I got to make it happen. It's kind of nice waking up and going, I don't have to think about food all day. I'm just going to drink coffee and water. And if I get hungry, I'll take a walk. And it's not that tough. And it's very good for you. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like it brings all your levels down with like blood pressure, cholesterol. It gives your digestive system a break. The benefits are incredible. And I know because I used to be a comedian, so you should listen to me. I'm just regurgitating what I read. I'm not an authority. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll join you the next time.
Okay.
But you got to give me a fair warning.
I just had this vision of Sage calling me into his office and saying, I don't know what to do here. Did you tell people not to eat for 36 hours? And I don't want to be that guy, because I'm just a guy who reads some stuff. But it's good. It works for me. I like it. That's fun. So, all right. Well, let's get down to your area of expertise, which is the state of Wisconsin and music. And I don't even know if it's in that order, but you've brought us Sam Ness tonight. And I love the music you sent. Tell us about Sam Ness.
Sam Ness, he is incredible. He's got such an interesting backstory, too. He was 18 years old, going to college. He had the whole thing planned. And he was a theater guy. So he was thinking Broadway, things like that. Tall, lanky, good looking. He totally could have done this. But how about this for a gift when you graduate? Somebody gives him, and he did not tell me who, but he gets the gift of a one-way ticket to Scotland. That's where his whole story begins. He canceled college, has still not gone to college, and that's how
Wow.
many years later. He started his love of being a street musician in Scotland, and this is where his entire career took off. He's a Sauk City kid, and that music program, the theater program in the Sauk City, school district is incredible. So he continues to represent it well, even though he went a little different direction than his original plan.
Boy, no kidding. I can't imagine going to Scotland to get discovered. Not that he went there to get discovered, but that he got his start there and his inspiration. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is he 20?
And
How old is he right now, Terry?
yeah, now he's in his later 20s.
Wow, still a young
But he's
guy.
an old soul. He's one of those where he has experienced the world in like some of the most rustic ways.
Yeah.
He said when he ran out of money in various places, including Scotland, he'd camp in a tree. Or he'd, beg, I'll play songs for you if you let me sleep on your floor. Or I'll exchange music for food. He's done
What?
that and started doing that when he was 18. He came back to his home in Wisconsin to then start recording albums. And everyone loves him so much. He is always doing a GoFundMe. He always gets the albums funded. And then, boom, album comes out. He promotes it. He does a ton of shows in the US and Wisconsin. And then he's like, I'm out. I'm going to another country.
Wow. He's got a really interesting background. It says that he's drawn comparisons to Jim Morrison because he's got this beard, and that's a pretty good guy to get compared to, at least on some levels. And
Yes.
he also played Marius in Les Mis. I assume that's like in a high school theater production. And he played high school football, and he's got
Yes.
this
Yes.
really interesting
Absolutely.
background.
He was like the star of his theater. in
Wow.
high school. And that's why I think everyone was so surprised when he chose to not go to college for theater because he
Yeah.
did. He had his whole career path laid out. And all of a sudden, somebody gives him this ticket and he decides, I'm going to go try this.
Do we know who gave him the ticket? Is that like a secret or something? Or
He does not talk about, he said it was just a gift of a
okay,
one-way ticket that changed his life.
that is really interesting. All right, so let's hear a song from Sam. We've got two of them. One's called Alexander. The other one is called She Is Love. What do you think we should lead off with, Terry?
Let's start with Alexander, only because we've been talking about his beginnings as an 18-year-old going to Scotland, living off the streets, busking around Scotland. That's what this song is all about. His beginnings in just trying to figure out who he was, where he was going as a musician, and if he was indeed going to stick with it. And then he found people there that believed in what he was doing. So that's what this song is
That is
about.
unbelievable. All right, this is Alexander from Sam Ness by way of Teri Barr.
Truck pulled over to the side of the road. Said, where you trying to go? So I throw my guitar in the back. Say, hell, I don't know. Well, I got things to see and I got itchy feet. I hit the road. And I got nowhere to be, and I got this hunger in me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I follow in your footsteps, Alexander. I need to find the truth. For your cause you were a martyr, so here's to you. Well, I got things to see and I got itchy feet. I hit the road. And I got nowhere to be, and I got this hunger in me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I've been missing home. I need to feel cold. Yeah, I say I've been missing home. I need to feel cold. I'm headed north, 'cause I got things to see and I got itchy feet. I hit the road. And I got nowhere to be, and I got this hunger in me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, oh. Well, I got things to see and I got itchy feet. I hit the road.
Great song. Boy, does he have a great voice. There's like so much soul or something. He's got a really unique voice.
Yeah, and the storytelling in the song, now
Yeah.
that you kind of know what it's about and what he was going through at the time, um, Yeah, you understand his story, but yet he tries, as he has explained to me, tries to be vague enough that you understand what he's going through, but yet that you can take your own story away from it.
Yeah, and it makes total sense too after what you just said about him before. Like that's a very
Yeah.
it's probably an autobiographical song on some level, but I love his voice. So we have to do a quick break, but do you have shows? Is something going on around the state? You kind of hinted in your email that maybe there were some cool shows coming up or something.
Well, and part of the reason we're talking to Sam and sharing his music, he's another one of the featured artists at the Madison Area Music Association Mama Cares
Mm,
show that's coming up at the end of the month. And again, this is one of these organizations that supports musicians who are maybe having a hard time
yeah,
paying the rent, paying their bills, and helps so many people during COVID. And Sam is another one. He said, I just want to step up and pay it forward. And someday I might need that help. So
boy,
that's why he's part of the show.
that
That's one of the big ones coming up. But it's exciting because there's old venues reopening again.
oh wow. Oh,
We could talk about
let's
that if
start
you
with
want
that
to.
too. Yeah, right after the break. But you're right. This guy's
Okay.
a really old soul, and we'll hear more from Sam Ness too coming up next after a very short break. It's Barr Band Friday night here at Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Teri Barr and Conrad. We're coming right back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
We are back on a Barr Band Friday night. Every Friday night's a Barr Band Friday night with our pal Teri Barr, one of the co-hosts of Max Inc. Radio. Okay, so we just heard Sam Ness, Teri. Is he live in the Lair tomorrow?
Here's the deal. Rocker still
Yeah.
recuperating
Sure.
after his heart attack. We're holding it together. You know, he kind of is like the lead of everything
Okay.
we do. But I think we've been having great shows just because we are so lucky to have so many amazing musicians from all around Wisconsin that want to be part of the show, whether that means they call in or they just send us new music or old music, or they join us in studio for a little bit. We still have not gotten back to the hour-long live in the
Oh,
lair.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Soon,
All right.
soon. I know. It's like we're building up now because we're all excited to get back to it, but we don't want to push Rocker and say,
Of course not.
"Are you ready?"
Yeah. No, that
Then we'll
makes
get in
total
trouble,
sense.
I think, with both his wife and his doctor.
Well, this is great. I mean, Sam Ness, and it's Dave Matthews, who he kind of sounds like a little bit. It was bothering me. I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
Like when he sings Crash, and his voice in this song we just heard, Alexander, was great. But he was the male vocalist of the year, I saw, in the Madison
Yes.
Area Music Awards. Very cool. And we have another song, so let's play that so we can discuss that. This song is called "She Is Love." It's another really cool song brought to you by way of Teri Barr. Here's Sam Ness once again.
Sometimes I find silence in dark and deafening rooms. The neon serves its purpose to fill the space above a stool. Sometimes I hear whispers in a cacophony of noise. She teaches me of kindness, though I've never heard her voice. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar, that I know I've never seen. Sometimes I feel invisible, or the elephant in the room. She points my eyes towards the sky and says sometimes the stars feel that way too. Sometimes I get restless when I'm driving down the road. She calms my mind, singing lullabies through my van's radio. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar, that I know I've never seen. She is love. She is love. She is love, 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 love. She is 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 love. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar, and I hope one day I'll see her.
Great song. Great song. Where, I was looking at his website. His tour dates are a little outdated. Do you know where people can see him?
The only show right now that I know he has is the Mama Cares show.
Okay.
Because he's working on a new album. He just bought a house.
Wow.
I know. So he's kind of flipping the script on all these other things we've talked about where
Yeah.
that all of a sudden I have a home. I've never had a home before, unless you count when I would go off the road from wherever I am and say, "Hey mom, can I sleep on your couch again?"
That's wow. And I love he won the Male Vocalist of the Year too in 2019. If he's in his late 20s now, he was such a young guy. Teri, thank you so much as always. This was so fun.
Thank you, Pete.
You're the best. Thanks so much, and I hope we'll have you back here next Friday.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Have a great weekend.
You too. That's Teri Barr. Barr Band Friday night in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Always fun. Bridget says, where was that text? We got a couple texts here I got to get to. Bridget says, pancakes with blueberries and walnuts with butter and maple syrup. Yes, please. Brian from Milwaukee says, waffles and pancakes use the same batter recipe. All right, Conrad, that seals it for us.
But it has pockets.
But it has pockets, right. And Brian also says, so yes, are kind of the same. Thank you for all your texts and calls. And thank you to Mike Clemens and Teri Barr. And we'll be back Monday. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, take me to your best friend's house. I loved you then and I love you now. Oh, don't take me.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.